Well, if you want to pick it up from the night, I was standing there with a gun in my pocket.
Knew you were going to shoot him?
Sorry?
Knew you were going to shoot him?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Tried not to, praying not to, but knowing down deep it was probably going to come to that. And he came out of the building, and the photographer that I mentioned earlier, Paul Gorish, he kind of pushed me forward and said, here's your chance. You know, you've been waiting all day. You've come from Hawaii to have him sign your album. Go, go. And I was very nervous. And I was right in front of John Lennon there instantly, and I had a black Bic pen, and I said, John, would you sign my album? And he said, sure. Yoko went and got into the car, and he pushed the button on the pen and started to get it to write. It was a little hard to get to write at first. And then he wrote his name, John Lennon, and then underneath that, 1980. And he looked at me, as I mentioned earlier, he said, is that all? Do you want anything else? And I felt then and now that he knew something subconsciously, that he was looking into the eyes of the person that was going to kill him.
The circumstances of the killing, what happened?
I was sitting at the inside of the arch of the Dakota building, and it was dark, it was windy. Jose, the doorman, was out along the sidewalk. And here's another odd thing that happened. I was at an angle where I could see Central Park West and 72nd, and I see this limousine pull up. And as you know, there's probably hundreds of limousines that turn up Central Park West in the evening. But I knew that was his. And I said, this is it. And I stood up. The limousine pulled up. The door opened. The rear left door opened. Yoko got out. John was far behind, say 20 feet, when he got out. John came out, and he looked at me, and I think he recognized, here's the fella that I signed the album earlier. And he walked past me. I took 5 steps toward the street, turned, withdrew my Charter Arms 38, and fired 5 shots into his back.
What did Yoko do?
She, naturally, and I can't blame her, she dashed around the stair area, ran for cover, which is what anyone would do. Mm-hmm. John, according to what I've been told, stumbled up the stairs, and then I saw her come back around and then go up to the stairs, and then she cradled his body.
Did she scream?
I don't think she screamed, but a few minutes after that, there was just a blood-curdling scream from someone, and it put the hair on the back of my neck straight up.
Were you relieved?
Before, everything was like dead calm, and I was ready for this to happen. I even heard a voice, my own, inside of me say, do it, do it, do it. You know, here we go. And then afterwards, it was like the film strip broke. I fell in upon myself. I like went into a state of shock. I stood there with the gun hanging limply down on my right side, and Jose the doorman came over, and he's crying, and he's grabbing my arm, and he's shaking my arm, and he shook the gun right out of my hand, which is a very brave thing to do to an armed person. And he kicked the gun across the pavement and had somebody take it away.
Dos años después, ¿no? Del crimen, que él mismo
92,
en alguna otra nota dijo, yo quería ser una celebridad como sea, incluso matando a alguien, en su lógica, ¿no? En esa lógica de loco. ¿Qué decías, Mariela?
Que en el 92 fue esta entrevista,
Claro.
12 años después.
¿Decía Marito?
8 años le negaron la libertad condicional, está ahora en Ática, Nueva York, en un correccional de por vida, por supuesto tiene cadena perpetua.
Sí, y sorprendió a Lennon en su relanzamiento artístico,
Claro.
Había estado sin tocar durante mucho tiempo, lanzando un disco, planeando una serie de shows, bueno, pero la
Qué
hora...
impresionante, ¿no? Eso, ¿querés algo más? Después de
Como
firmar
que
el autógrafo,
presentía
¿necesitas algo más? ¿Querés algo más?
Sí, uno verá esa mirada del que te está por matar, como, pero este es un loco, digo, ¿cómo creerlo?
Ahora, un loco que tiene una cara que no dice nada, como de frialdad, de cara de
Fíjate
nada.
cómo trata de que nadie se enoje con Yoko, que no salió a proteger a John, sino a cubrirse ella, como diciendo cualquiera hubiera hecho lo mismo.
Sí, claro, en la puerta de la costa. Bueno,